Chalo. So what is exactly electrostatics, beta? Electrostatics is the branch of the physics which deals with the study of the charges at the rest. Okay, electro means electron, statics means rest. We are talking about in this chapter because all the charges which are at the rest part of relation. When it is at the rest, what all the properties are acting on it, what all the properties it can exhibit, what all forces it can exhibit, that all things we are going to learn in the electrostatics part of relation. Okay, so electrostatics is nothing but what, beta? The branch of the physics which deals with the study of the charges at the rest is called as of your electrostatics. Is that clear?
Yes.
Makes sense. So it means electrostatics is what? The study of the charges at the rest is called as of your electrostatics part of relation. And in this one, we talk about the charges, conservation of charges, quantization of your charges part, conductors, insulators, methods of charging, that is charging by friction, conduction, induction. So they're all the basic things which you should know basically. In this one, the first formula which you should know is right now in this one, quantization of your charges. The first one is right now for me what, beta? Quantization of your charges part of relation. So what do you mean by quantization of your charges? Bit idea on the, so what do you mean by quantization? Quantization of charges. What do you mean by quantization of charges? Charge always exists in the integral multiple of your charge of electron. That is, Q will be equal to your plus R minus N into your E.
Yes.
R minus N into your E. N is some whole number, beta, integral.
Yes.
Integral multiple of your charge. So N is nothing but some whole number. A body can have a charge like plus 2, minus 3, but it cannot have the charges in the fraction. Got it?
Yes, sir.
So N is right now for me what? N whole number. N is nothing but right now for me what? N whole number. So charge is equals to how much for me? Plus or minus of your N into your E part of relation, where N is nothing but of your whole number. N is nothing but your whole number. N is nothing but what? Whole number. That means charge can have, it can be anything better. Charge can be, it can be your plus 2E, minus 2E, comma plus 3E, minus 3E. But it cannot be, it cannot be fractions like E by 2, minus of E by 3, minus of E by 4, minus of your 2E by 3, minus of your some, say for example 4 by 3. Like this it cannot exist.
Okay.
Isn't it? It exists only in the integral multiple of your charges of your electron particle relation. Is that clear? Now, to do
Yes,
this one, you should also have some basic knowledge better. That is about your, how do you calculate the number of your moles? Chemistry how do you calculate
Yes,
the number of moles better?
Weight by gram mole.
Of your moles. Number of your moles will be equal to your how much? Number of moles
Weight
will
by gram molecular weight.
How much?
Weight by gram molecular weight.
Yeah, so it will be your weight by your gram molecular weight. Weight by your gram molecular weight. In the same way, we should know how to calculate number of molecules. Number of your molecules will be equal to, number of molecules will be equal to how much better? Number of your moles into Avogadro number.
Yes, sir. Into 6.20.
Moles into your Avogadro number. Avogadro's number. What is an Avogadro's number, beta? Value 6.023 into 10 to the power of 23. Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So how do you need to know how to calculate the number of your moles? So number of your moles is equals to how much for me? Number of your moles is equals to your weight by your gram molecular weight part of relation. Weight by your gram molecular weight. In the same way, number of your molecules will be equal to your number of your moles into your Avogadro number. Number of moles into your Avogadro number. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Sure. Let us try to enter into our concerned topic better. The first topic is about your Coulomb's law. First one is Coulomb's law. See this better. This law generally gives the forces between two charges, like gravitational force. Gravitational force will give the force between the two masses better. and mass will never exist negative. Mass is always positive, gravity
Yes.
force is always positive. Whereas the electrostatic force or Coulombic force can be both attractive and as well as of a negative, because we'll be having both positive charge and negative charge. But mass cannot be positive and negative. It can be only positive. There is nothing like of your negative mass. That is the reason force is always attractive. The force between the two masses is always attractive. The force between the charges may be positive or it may be your negative part of relation. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you remembered what is a Coulomb law, beta? Coulomb's law says that the electrical force between any 2-point charges is directly proportional to the product of their charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Like say for example, we have got two charges here right now. Say for example Q1 and as well as of your Q2, and both of them are separated by certain distance. Say for example some R or D, whatever it may be. Isn't it? Sometimes we'll take small d or sometimes we take it as of your small r part deflation. Say for example, if both of them are separated by certain distance between them, say for example Q1 and Q2. So the electric force which is existing between both of them, because of this one positive and positive, there will be what beta? A repulsion force right now here. Isn't it? And the space between them is right now for me vacuum, and the space between them is nothing but vacuum, or we can say it is your air, or it is your air. So force is directly proportional to the product of charges, that is Q1 into your Q2, and force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So this is my first equation and this is my second equation. Okay. So combining these two equations, I can write here F is proportional to your Q1 into Q2 divided by your R square. So if I remove the proportionality constant, we are getting some constant known as of your F is equals to some constant of your K into your, this one is your Q1 into Q2 divided by your R square. Is that clear? So this is the force which has been existing between the two charges. This is the force which has been existing between the two charges. F is equals to your K into Q1 Q2 divided by your R square part of relation. Okay.
Yes.
The value of the K experimentally is being found as the value of this K is equals to your.
Sir, 1 minute, sir. Can you scroll up, sir, little bit?
Yeah.
Can you scroll it up, sir? Little bit?
Yeah.
Just 1 minute. Sir, so what I'm thinking is, అంటే క్లాస్ నేను ఇట్లా ఫాస్ట్ గా మీరు చెప్తుంది వినేసి again after like our class, sir, like a revision, you'll post it on YouTube, right, sir? That time I'll see and again I'll make my own notes. Is that?
Yeah, you depends upon, because anyhow I'm recording, but you can, I'll send you that one. Whichever point you feel comfortable, you can write it that one. That's not a problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Means like what do you say, sir?
If you're having any doubts, you can ask me.
Yes, sir. That I'll ask, sir.
Okay, sure. So now this value of the K is how much better? K value is 1 by 4 pi into your epsilon or naught. How do you pronounce this one beta? Epsilon or naught. EPLESON, epsilon or naught, NOT naught. Actually, the value of this epsilon naught here, it is defined as the value of this one is totally 9 into 10 to the power of 9. Unit is Newton meter square per Coulomb square. I'll tell you how we got. Okay. So what is your epsilon naught beta? Here it is called as of your permittivity. It is called as what? Permittivity of your free space. Permittivity of your free space. The word itself, it is telling permittivity, permit. It is giving the permission to allow the number of electric lines of the forces to pass through the given section, or given through the air, or given through the medium, is called as of your permittivity. Is that clear? So permittivity means what? Allowing the number of electric lines of the forces to pass through the vacuum or through the free space or through the air is called as of what? Permittivity of free space, and it is represented by epsilon naught. And the value of this one is epsilon naught value is 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton meter square. Is that clear?
Yes.
Is that clear? Okay, so what is the value of K beta? K value is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught for calculation we are taking as 9 into 10 to the power of your 9, where epsilon naught is known as of your permittivity of your free space, and the value of that one is 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 12 Coulomb square per Newton meter square. Is that clear?
Yes.
Isn't it? This is where beta? This is in air or vacuum. This is for your air, or it is for your vacuum. This is for your vacuum. If charges are present in medium beta, then next one, sir. If charges are present, if charges are present in medium, if charges are present in medium, so at that time we'll write force in your medium Fm will be equal to your, this is written as 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into, it is represented here also by letter K, into your Q1 Q2 divided by your R square. This K and this K are different beta. This K is known as what? Dielectric constant of the medium. This is called as of what? Dielectric constant of medium.
So it's small k and big K.
Not like that, both of them are K only, but
Okay,
here the
alright.
K is constant. After
Okay,
removing the
sir.
proportionality constant, we are
Okay,
getting
yes,
that
sir.
constant, and here it is nothing but K. This K is known as dielectric constant of your medium. This is sometimes even represented by your epsilon R. Epsilon R part of relation.
Okay.
Clear?
So అక్కడ k ఏమో కాన్స్టెంట్, ఇక్కడేమో డైఎలెక్ట్రిక్
Dielectric constant. K is also called as of ER. ER is known as of what? Relative permeability. It is also called as of what? Relative permittivity. It is also called as of your relative permittivity. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. So basically permittivity అంటే
When it
what
is
does
in
it mean?
vacuum, we don't have the value of K. This constant, the value of this dielectric will become 0.
Yes, sir,
Whereas
because
in the
there's no
medium, it is 1
permittivity,
by
right,
4
sir?
pi epsilon naught into 1 by K.
Sir, because there's no permittivity in vacuum, right, sir?
Yeah, in the vacuum, there is no dielectric constant part of relation. There is no dielectric constant of the medium because it is also applicable only for the medium part. It is
Okay,
only
sir.
applicable for your medium part of relation. Okay, now?
Yes, sir.
Sure. And the relation between both of them, you see right now, if I am writing this relation, F in medium is equals to, okay, and see generally K is known as what? Relative permeability. This relative permeability is also represented by mu R. Mu R is nothing but what? Permittivity of medium divided by your absolute permittivity. Okay,
Sir,
what is your E beta here?
yeah.
Epsilon is known as of what? Permittivity. This one
Yes,
is
sir.
your permittivity of your medium. Permittivity of your medium. Okay, that means I can write here epsilon is equals to your relative permeability into epsilon naught, or else
Yes,
this can
sir.
also be written as of your K into your epsilon naught. Can I write like this?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? Now see, if I see this one carefully, epsilon naught into your K, epsilon naught into K can be taken as epsilon beta.
Yes, sir.
So now force in medium can also be written as force in medium is equals to 1 by 4 pi into only epsilon into your Q1 into Q2 divided by your R square. Can I write like this?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So see, K into epsilon naught. See, K into epsilon naught is nothing but what beta? Permittivity of your medium. Permittivity of your medium. What is known as epsilon naught beta? Epsilon naught is known as of your permittivity of free space, or sometimes it is also called as absolute permittivity. It is also called as what? Absolute permittivity. It is also called as what? Absolute permittivity of your free space. Of your free space. Clearer? So see
Yes,
once
sir.
again, force in the medium is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. So force in medium, so force in your air or for your vacuum will be equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 into Q2 divided by your R square, So in the air or vacuum, it is epsilon naught. In the medium, it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 into Q2 divided by R part of relation. Is that clear, beta?
Yes, sir.
Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Sir, మీరు mu naught కూడా ఒక దగ్గర అన్నారు, mu r ఒక దగ్గర అన్నారు.
Mu R is known as what? Relative permittivity represented by K.
Sir, then again for mu r you wrote అంటే epsilon symbol రాశారు.
ఇక్కడ see here, epsilon R is also represented by K kada. Ratio
Yes, sir.
of your permittivity of medium divided by absolute permittivity of a free space is called as dielectric constant of the medium, or also known as relative permittivity. This both of them are one and the same word beta. Dielectric constant of medium anna, relative permittivity anna, one and the same.
Okay, sir.
Okay, na? So the ratio of permittivity of medium divided by permittivity of air or vacuum is known as relative permeability. So epsilon will be equal to your, I'm taking epsilon naught here. So it is epsilon r into epsilon naught. So epsilon r can also be written as of your k beta. So it is your k into your epsilon naught. Okay. So F in the medium will be equal to how much? 1 by 4 pi epsilon into K1 Q2 by R square. Okay, now.
Yes.
Now, what is the relation between both of them? Can you tell me? Force in medium will become how much for me? Force in medium will become for me force in your air or your vacuum divided by your epsilon r. అంతే కదా r
Yes,
k
sir.
k వాల్యూ అని రాసుకోవచ్చు లేకపోతే ఈఆర్ అని కూడా రాసుకోవచ్చు సిఆర్ 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 by what beta r square only na 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q1 q2 is nothing but what force in air or vacuum only na.
Yes, sir.
So force in the medium can be represented by force in air or vacuum divided by relative permeability or relative permittivity. Relative permittivity, one more definition we got. ER will be equal to your force in your air or in your vacuum divided by your force in your medium. This is your mu r. Is it clear? Is it
Yes,
clear?
sir. Yes, sir.
Chalo. सही है? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Force in medium will be equal to how much beta? Force in medium will be equal to force in air or vacuum divided by epsilon naught. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Sure. We got two definitions for relative permittivity. One is in terms of force and one is in terms of permittivity.
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, when both of them are in positive nature, beta, tell me what will be the direction? Will it be attractive or repulsive? Repulsive, kada? This is Q1 and this is Q2. Both
Okay,
of
yeah,
them
we'll
are
move.
positive,
Yes,
positive.
sir. Yes,
Both
sir.
of them
We'll
are positive and positive. So here there is a force on this one beta. There is a force on 2 due to the 1. And there is
Yes.
a force on your 1 due to 2. Can I write like
Yes,
this?
sir.
Isn't it? So this
Yes.
is the force on 2 due to the 1 and this is the force on 1 due to the 2. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Isn't it? Now, in the same way, if I'm taking both of them to be opposite forces, like say for example, if I'm taking the force between one positive, that is nothing but if you're equal to minus Q1 and this one will be equal to your plus of your Q2. Okay, now, so
Yes.
for example, for this one I can write, this is your 1 gravity, this is the force on your 1 on 2 and this will be the force on your 2 because of your 1 in this direction. Agreed?
Yes, sir.
So can I say that force due to the 2 on your 1, force due to the 2 on your 1 will be equal to how much beta? Force due to the 1 on your 2 will be equal to minus of force on your 1 on 2. Can I write?
Yes,
This
sir.
one. Opposite directions, kada?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? Because
The
Q1
attraction.
is being attracted towards the positive.
Yes, sir.
So the force on your 1 is due to the 2 and force on the 2 is because of your 1. There will be a sort of an attraction between them. So when the both the signs are opposite, this will be what? Attractive in nature. This will be your attractive in nature. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Attractive in your nature. Isn't it? Or else I can write this one as a what? Repulsive in nature. Here this one is what? Repulsive in nature. Repulsive in nature. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So that means here right now you see if force exerted by 1 on 2 is minus of force exerted on 1 on 2 means which law it is? Newton's third law.
Yes, sir.
Newton's third law. Equal and opposite force. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So Coulomb's law is obeying Newton's third law. The force exerted by the first force on the second charge is equal to the opposite to the force exerted by the second on the first one. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And what type of nature it is better? This is conservative in nature. conservative in nature. Conservative in nature means what? Wait, it depends only on initial and final position. It is independent of your path. It is independent of your path part of relation. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure. Now this one is only because of how many charges we did here?
Two,
Two
sir.
charges. If
Yes.
more than two charges have been present, keep a note here right now. Okay. If more than two charges, if more than two charges are present, more than two charges are present, we can use vector addition method. We can use your vector addition method. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Like say here there is one charge, 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 Q4 this one, and here there is one charge right now. Say for example, this one is signed right now somewhere here Q5, and this one is say for example Q6. Okay, how many charges are there? Like that, 6 charges.
6 charges. Sir, when I'm talking, some disturbance is coming, sir.
Okay, so totally how many charges are present there? 6 charges are present.
Yes, sir.
So how many charges we can make, beta? There is a force between Q1 and Q2. There is a force between Q1 and Q3. There is a force between Q4, Q5, force between Q1, Q6, force between Q1, Q4. Oh no?
Yes, sir.
There is also the force between, now can you tell me? There is also force between Q5 and Q2. There is also the force between Q2 and Q3. There is
Yes,
also the force between Q4 and Q3. There is also the force between your Q1 and I can say like this. N number of pairs we can form.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? There is also the force like that. Like that, how many forces I can go on make? N number of forces, kada?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So when more than 2-3 forces have been present, we can use the vector addition method like that. So that means F bar will be equal to your, this one is F1 plus of your F2 plus of your F3 plus of your F4 plus so on up to like this. Can I take like this?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So we are, this is nothing but what? A principle of your superposition. This one is known as of your principle of superposition. This one is known as what, beta? Principle of your superposition. Principle of your superposition. If more than 2-3 forces have been present, we can add them vectorially. That is known as what? A principle of your superposition.
Sir, now practically if we are seeing, sir.
Yes, beta?
Sir, so like practically if we are seeing, if Q1 and Q3 is there, right, sir? And Q1 and Q2 is also there.
So whenever you're taking two pairs, beta, we need to assume as if the remaining charges are not present in the vicinity.
Okay, okay, sir. That's what
we should make an assumption like if I'm taking the charge with force between Q1 and Q5, then we should assume Q6, Q2, Q3, and Q4 are not present.
Okay, sir.
Got it?
That was my doubt, sir. Yes, sir. Got it, sir.
So if more than two forces, like two forces have been present and making an angle, at that time, how do you use beta? If two forces are present, if two forces are making an angle, theta between them, like this. There is one right now like this. There is one force F1. There is another force right now F2. An angle between them is theta. The resultant of this one is given by this one. This is your F resultant and it is making an angle of your alpha. Okay. So how do you calculate F resultant, beta? F resultant will be equal to Pythagoras theorem, parallelogram law, vector addition, P1 square plus P2 square. So here P1 is nothing but equal to how much, beta? F1 square plus of your F2 square plus 2 F1 F2 into your cos theta. So this will be the force. This is what? Parallelogram law of vector addition. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Now, angle, beta. Angle. Tan alpha is equals to f2 into sin theta divided by your f1 plus f2 into your cos theta. Clear?
Yes, sir.
గుర్తుందా ఇది ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ లో నేర్చుకున్నాం మనం వెక్టార్స్ లో.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
Latest గానే నేర్చుకున్నాం
the
sir
force
ఇది.
right now
దీంట్లో కూడా
and it is given by this condition.
yes sir. అంటే like the same kind of formula sir. m1 plus m2 m1 square plus m2
Under
square.
root of p square plus q square plus 2pq into cos theta ఉంది కదా.
Yes sir.
Isn't it? The same thing right now here we are using for this one. Okay, na?
Yes.
So when we are using this formula, if more than 2-3 forces have been present within the vicinity, okay, we'll assume as if the third charge, fourth charge, and fifth charge are not present, then we'll calculate the force between. Clear, beta?
Yes sir.
Sure. Have you done this all in your college beta today?
Sir, we did the paper discussion and
Okay.
we did it till the sir we did till epsilon r sir, the relation with force also.
Yeah.